Hey, business bestie. This is Tyler, aka the Marketing Bully, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to show you how to design some spooky Canva graphics for your upcoming Halloween sales and campaigns that look like this and this. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so to get started, we're going to start off with a blank canvas space. For this specific design, I am doing 1080 by 1350, which is the Instagram post of 4 by 5 in Canva. You can set it up either way just by typing in Instagram or by entering in the dimensions of the post. Now, we're starting this with a completely blank canvas, so you can do this step by step right along with me if you choose to. All right, so we're going to go to, we're going to click on the workspace and change the color of this because we're going to be doing something that's Halloween themed. We're either going to be using black, dark purples, dark reds, dark blues to kind of give off like a spooky vibe. So to get started for this first one, I'm going to be doing a night sky. So we're going to go and do like a darker blue. When I'm doing like night skies for graphics, the background for it is hardly ever black. The when I'm looking at the night sky, it never really truly looks black. It looks like a really deep layered blue, so that's why I do that. The next thing we're going to do is look for some stars to add to the background. So we're going to click elements and type in stars. And we have a few different options. First, I'm just going to start with some that look like little speckles to kind of like take up the space, and then we're going to stretch this out. After we center it, we can take away some of the vibrancy from these stars by reducing the transparency. And then we're going to click this lock button down here to lock it in place. That way we can add things on top and it won't move. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a moon. All right, so now that we have the moons pulled up, we'll just pick one. I like this one, but I like the detail on this one a little bit more. So I'm going to grab that one. I'm gonna shrink it down and kind of center it. Another thing, I think that we'll kind of like make it to where the moon is a little bit bigger and kind of shining down. Don't really like that. So you can experiment with how you want to place your moon. I'm just kind of trying to think through mine. Okay. We'll just do that. Go back to elements and let's type in glow so that we can get a glow behind the moon. I'm going to change the color of my glow to white because the moon does have a glow to it, right? Like it emits its own aura. And then we're going to do position and we'll push to back, but we really just want it behind the moon, not behind the stars. And then we can group the moon and the glow that's behind it. Next, we're going to add some clouds. So let's go to elements and type in clouds. I like to do like different shapes and sizes and colors just to kind of like add some variation. You want to make sure that they're all like the same type of consistency as far as design goes. Like you don't want to have some clouds that look realistic and then others that look fake. You want them to either look fake or look realistic to have some continuity to your graphic. I actually really like this type of cloud, so I'm just pulling up different ones to see like which design I like most. Right now, I'm really feeling this one, so we're going to like kind of just duplicate this across. This is going to be our first layer, and then we're going to drag, hold down, and group, and then we'll bring in a few more. Now, for these, we can shrink them in size and change the transparency, so they just kind of act as like fillers, and push them to the back just to be behind these to kind of fill in like the background. So we'll duplicate these across, raise them up and lower them. Make sure you go to the edges. All right. Now let's go back to the original three. We're going to, you can animate these across if you want them to be kind of like moving, if you plan to upload this as a GIF. If not, you could just leave them still like they are right now. Now, I like to leave a little open space right here for the text, which is why I like they're higher along the edges, but dipped in the middle. The next thing we're going to do is let's add some fog, because when is the night sky ever just truly this clear, right? So we got this fog that we can add. Make sure when you rotate it, it says 180 so that it's actually straight all the way across. So we're going to stretch this across. We're going to bring it up just a little bit and center. And then for position, we're going to do to back and then forward so that it is above the stars, but it's behind the moon and behind the moon's glow. If you're not sure where your things are layered at, once you click on an element, just click layers and it'll show you. So over here, it's above the lock layer, which is the stars, but it's behind the moon, which is perfect. Now we can lock this layer too, because we don't need that to move anymore. The next thing we're going to do is let's add some font. So we're going to start off with a heading. I'm going to stretch this across. I'm going to change the color to white. This is where you're going to type in like whatever it is that you're specifically trying to promote for like this spooky like moonlight type thing. I like to do graphics like this when I'm promoting like a nighttime routine for a skincare company, or like bedtime products or something like, or if you sell mattresses or pillows or bedding, or like if you're a fashion company and you sell pajamas or something, this type of like graphic would be perfect for this. Let's change the font though. So we can do something. We can search and see what they have like for nighttime. Typically though, you will use like your company's branded font, but I'm just picking a random font to do this with. I actually like this one a lot more. So we'll do something like, so do something like nighttime, and we're just picking like a little bit of random text. So go right here. We'll do go to effects and go to lift so that there's a shadow added behind the text so that it contrasts behind everything else. After we do the lift, let's duplicate this again. And for the version that's duplicated, go back to effects and click neon. So now there's like a slight shadow behind it and the text itself is glowing. You can adjust the neon of it and bring up the intensity or lower it if you want to. I think that's good for mine. So we'll just do like nighttime, and then we'll type in something like pajama set sale for like fashion companies, for example. But again, like I said, you could do this for any type of company that's selling things relevant to like nighttime or bedtime or something. So now that we have like this text on here, now we can do like what is the actual discount. So let's go back to elements and let's search for like 20% off. Alternatively, if you don't want like one of the pre-made 20% off symbols, you can also search for like number and then do something like 3D, and you'll get like different type of like number designs right here. Or you can search something that's like Halloween numbers and get like different types of numbers that are specifically Halloween themed. Uh, let's see. I want something that's like more of gonna pop out and go with like what we're talking about. So let's look for like sleepy fonts maybe. Let's see. And no. What about a drip font? I like this more. But it's not really giving me what I want. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna duplicate this font and I'm gonna say 25 25%. And we're going to go to effects and we're going to put a background back behind this one. I'm going to make the background white, and then we're going to change the color of the font. We're also going to change this to a different font. Let's see. So for this one, I just chose Bogart. So we'll do 25% off for 48 hours. And then we could duplicate this again. And you can make this bigger too. And then we could put use code. We could use something like spooky sleep. Just kind of like stay on theme with what's happening. All right, and here's the first example of a simple Halloween themed graphic. Now, we're for the next one, we're gonna go just a little bit more spooky in terms of like actually incorporating Halloween themed elements. All right, so for this next one, let's go ahead and add a page. Now, for this one, I actually did something similar for a brand before. All right, so for the next three designs, we're gonna do one dedicated to Freddy Krueger, Chucky, and the Leprechaun. If you decide to do a weekend holiday sale, you'll be able to use these graphics for this. Now, I found these PNGs for free online. The only thing I've done so far is remove the backgrounds. By just clicking background remover once I've uploaded them, I went to edit, photos, scroll down, and clicked on shadows, and then I click glow, and I scroll down, and I was able to choose the color of the glow that is behind each of these characters. I just decided to do red for Halloween. Now, because this is Freddy Krueger themed, I want there to be a few different things going on that are similar to Freddy Krueger. So let's see what they have, even for Freddy Krueger right now in graphics and photos. Nothing for photos. If they have anything, okay, they don't have anything in here that I like. So let's start looking for different things. So first, I want to add like a scratch of blood going behind him. But I don't like the way that this one looks. I want one that looks more like the graphic that I found. That one seems more aligned with it. Or this one, since this is a darker color. So we're going to make this bigger. I'm going to rotate this just a little bit. And then I'm going to put this behind him, position. Let's go back to scratch blood and see if I can find anything else. I kind of like this one too. I'm going to do this one instead. All right. So now that we have the blood behind him, let's position it to the back. Let's recenter Freddy to be right here. I want to be able to add the code, and I want it to stand out across the bottom. So I'm just going to add a box here, drag it across the bottom all the way across, and then shrink it down. I'm going to change the color to be the color of the red that we're using throughout this. All right, and then we're going to put the heading right here. So, but before we do that, let's search blood splatter. Go to graphics. I really like the idea of doing a handprint. So let's drag this handprint down. I really want the bar across to go into the bottom of the handprint. So let's see if we can make that better color match. All right. I'm trying to decide. I really want this to drip better. So let's see. And I do want some blood splatter going across the back. So we're going to add in some of that. First, we're going to add in like what looks like a spray of blood. So position. We're going to bring that to the back. We're going to bring down the transparency some because that's a little bold. Then we're going to start adding in the blood splatter. So I want some to like drip down from the top like this. And we're going to bring down the transparency just a bit. and then go to position and go to back. Now that looks a little busy to me. I'm not a fan of that, so we're going to delete that one. And it's really just trial and error. I like this a little bit more. And again, this is just too bold for me, so we're going to play with like the size of them. We're going to rotate it some so that the splatter does not look the same. And we're going to play with the transparency. And I'll scroll back up because I saw like some blood splatter that was a little bit more spread out. I like this a lot to kind of like connect these two. And we're going to center that and then just bring the transparency down some. And go to position and go to back. All right. I don't like that hand anymore. All right. So now that we have that done, let's start adding in our text. And we'll do something like killer sale. And let's go to fonts. Now this is where you're going to use your branding at. We're just going to go to fonts and search Halloween and see what they have here. So they have this one. And I could do it. I could leave it just like that, but I want it to stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to go to effects. We can go to neon. And we could do that one. We can go to lift and do that. I like the idea of doing this. We just need to adjust the thickness and the offset just a little bit so it's easier to read. Alright, that red is just a bit bright for me. I want it to be darker. Why is it doing that? Okay, let's bring the thickness back down. What just happened? Okay, we're just gonna take that effect all the way off. Let's just do shadow. And for the shadow, we'll just do this red color. We're gonna blur the shadow just a little bit. We're gonna up it so that you can see the shadow behind it. And we're gonna call this our killer sale. All right, and now we'll put the text of what the sale is. But before we do that, let's add a blood drip going across the bottom. We're gonna bring this up just a little bit so that we can have the full blood drip in the graphic. We're gonna lock this so that we can still just like maneuver everything around it without actually changing. Make sure you drag the box all the way across to the edges so that it's not cut off. We're gonna change that blood drip to match the bottom of that, and then the other color that's in here, we're gonna make that brighter. And then we're gonna duplicate this going across and just kind of lining it up so you can zoom in and scroll down. And this is how we're gonna make the bottom of it look like it's dripping. All right, so now when you zoom out, you can highlight all four elements and group them together. And now you can add in the text that you want. And we'll put like 31% off for 31 hours. And then we'll put some like use code Halloween, just to like kind of keep it simple. Now we can make this font bigger so that it's easier to read. And let's look for another Halloween font. So they do have a Jeepers font. They have like a few different options on here. I'm gonna go with this one for Abby's, called Abby's. And I'm just gonna make it bigger so that it stretches across. All right, and this is what the Freddy Krueger font, the Freddy Krueger flyer looks like. We're gonna do something similar for these other two as well, but it'll be called something else, like something that Chucky has said, and something to do with luck. On this one, the Leprechaun one is gonna be a little bit more advanced. For these last two graphics, I will not be talking you through it. I'm just going to design them and you'll get a chance to watch. And then we'll kind of chat a little bit at the end before we wrap this up. And remember, you can buy all four of these as templates on my website for this month. They'll be uploaded and available once this video drops. All right. So now we're just going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to add in some music for you guys. All right, as a quick recap, this is what all four of the graphics look like. So this is number one. I love this one. Probably one of my favorite ones that I usually put together. It's like the nighttime sky type graphics. You can make these more advanced. I do have a Canva animations workshop where I'll show you how to actually animate things. We're just doing standstill graphics for this tutorial. For the next one, we got the Freddy Krueger graphic. I really love this. I love a lot of different things about this. The blood splatter in the background, the glow around Freddy, and then the blood drip at the bottom to draw attention to the code. Then we have the Chucky one, of course, super creepy but cute at the same time. And then lastly, we have like a little slot machine mock up using the leprechaun, which makes so much sense for a leprechaun tutorial for me. If you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure you give it a thumbs up, like, follow, and subscribe me. I'm going to be dropping some type of video every single weekend for the next 12 weeks until we wrap up 2025. As always, good luck with your Halloween sale. Check out the description box to get access to these templates.